You know what it is? It's the method, the safe space for men talking about real life, real pressure, real conversations. I'm your host, Javier. This is the other host, AD. Take it away, man.
How's everybody doing? We're glad to be back in the fold. Before we get to the topic at hand, I just kind of want to state a couple of things right quick. Um, this right here is something I've been looking forward to for the last 2 days. For me, Thursday was a very rough day for me, and I can't explain why. It was one of them days where nothing made sense, and the whole day was just rough. From the moment I woke up till probably after I got home from work, and I didn't even know what was going on. I'm seeing things that weren't there. I'm envisioning things that weren't even a possibility. It was affecting the way that I was operating that whole day. It's almost like Murphy's Law kicked in. Uh, and I was talking to a friend of mine earlier that day, and they said, well, what can you do to help it get better? I said, I don't know. I feel like to put over this crime. Cause I felt like just letting the emotion out probably would have made sense, but I didn't. And I still to this day don't know what the problem was. It just was one of them days where a lot of things it was one of them days where you woke up, you look in the mirror, you say, I ain't got no support, nobody understands, I got all this pressure on my back, and I ain't started my day yet.
Yeah.
I got to get out here and make everything work. And then once I get out there, once I get in my truck, I didn't put my radio on for 2 hours because I just was not trying to figure things out. And like I said, this is the way I was looking at things. Just
Right.
as soon as I woke up out the bed. And I was talking to my mother about it earlier that day. Didn't really go in depth because that was early in the day, so a lot of other stuff hadn't happened yet that kind of domino affected to other negative things, other negative things, other negative things. And I said to myself, I said, okay, when I get home, I'm going to get somewhere, sit still, and just let it out for about 5 minutes, and then go on my business. Didn't do that. It's like once I got home, it was a great day. When the granddaughter's birthday was that day, she came by. They got better. Slowly got better after that. Then the next day kicked in, which was Friday. Then I was able to compartmentalize everything that just happened from the day before. And it's like, you know what? This really wasn't that. It still was something that I had on my mind, but the way I dealt with it, the way I think it just goes to everything that we always talk about as far as we tried to figure things out. That was one of the days, man, where I just needed someone to like, man, how you doing today?
I feel you.
How's your day going? And I didn't want to sit back and burden nobody. And I know no one would consider it a burden if I called and had a conversation. We understand that. But once again, that's where the pride part kick in.
Yeah.
But just one of the days, man, where it's like, man, I felt like I was on the island by myself.
I have days like that. And the thing is, sometimes I can honestly say it helps to have somebody there with you that notices you're off.
There you go.
And that can say, hey, are you good?
Right.
And that's where a partner comes in that. Because I can tell you, like, my wife know when I'm off. Sometimes I don't even know I'm off. But, you feel it, but it's just like everything that day, that day gonna suck. And so, but what I try to do is when I wake up heavy like that, I try to look at, okay, you know what, I got this going on. I'm gonna hit the gym. I gotta go to work and do this. I'm gonna hear about this. This gonna go on. I try to find positives throughout the day and focus on the small wins.
Right.
Because if I know my day is gonna be terrible, but I was able to, call this bill collector and okay, you know what, I got that done, or I was able to call and get the refrigerator fixed, or or this happened, that right there, it helps me. It helps make me feel better throughout the day. And then I try to like minimize the negative thoughts and focus on positive thinking. Sometimes I'll sit back and I'll meditate. And that's one thing I'm really big on is meditation when I'm having a heavy day. There's been times I woke up heavy. I go to the gym at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock. when I pull up to the gym, if I'm feeling heavy, I'll pause, do a 5-minute meditation on YouTube just to recenter myself. And my wife would tell you sometimes when I come home and it's been a day, I'll tell her, you know what? I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna go upstairs and rest my head, 10, 15-minute meditation just to recenter myself. Because some days, honestly, we don't know what's going on. It's that pressure. I mean, honestly, we know what's going on. It's the pressure, but we don't we internalize it so much that we can't even really get it out. And it does suck when somebody doesn't like when they can't pull it out of you. Because some people feel like they shouldn't have to, but in all reality, why not? Because if I see my people off, bro, what's going on? You know, like my wife, hey, babe, are you okay? And people don't want to cry, but sometimes we need that as men. Like, I don't know what's going on with me, but help me. So, no, I can relate to that on many levels. Because sometimes it's just the pressure of knowing what you have to do as the man, the provider.
Right.
And you know, our pride does get the best of us because I struggle asking for help. Like I really struggled asking for help. And I never knew I was this hyper independent until I got with somebody that genuinely wanted to be there for me. So
That's very important, man. And I was able to, I had a friend that sent me word of encouragement because I did express to them. And they sensed it. We was having a conversation on the phone. It's like, man, what's going on? You know, and it was just simple conversation, but it was like the dialogue maybe seemed off.
yeah,
And they was able to kind of help me, and I was able to explain to them. And this is my feeling right now. I was on my way home from work, like, man, I just feel like I just need to let it out. Just having it's one of the days. I'm just feeling like crap. Feel like I'm on an island by myself.
Mhm.
No one understands. No one cares. No one even thinks to even put me on that radar. Like these are all the type of things I'm thinking about because in the end, I still got to keep on proceeding. Like 90 going north, and there's nothing else that can be done. And you know, I have days like that a lot, not to that extent, but the beginning parts of that thought process, I have that all the time, and that's why this forum is so important for me to be able to verbalize and say it out loud, so that I can kind of really put things in perspective. So I'm really looking forward to this ever since then because I knew we'll probably have a lot of feedback from that part of the conversation, and people probably experience the same thing. You know, I don't know, man. It's just one of the things where you just can't put it into words.
No, you know what? But the thing is, no, honestly, bro, what I would say is we need to focus more on self care.
Mhm.
Small, like I said, the small wins thing, because sometimes we get so caught up in taking care of everybody else, we don't take care of ourselves, and that's when the pressure kicks in because you get up, you go to work every day, you make sure home is good, you make sure the kids are good, you make sure your spouse is good, but in your mind, you like, who making sure I'm good?
Right.
And that's not saying nobody else is not doing it, but we don't always accept that help. And I think we talked about that last week on the last episode.
Right.
But when we sit back and we think about it, sometimes you know what, just have something throughout your day that you look forward to. And I think that way, so that day when you wake up heavy, like for me, it's the gym. I'm like, you know what, man, I can lay in bed all day, but I love my routine. So I'm gonna go in there, have a great workout, and then that sometimes that centers me. Sometimes that's like, you know what, okay, I made it through. That's one thing conquered today.
Right.
But it's really finding what makes AD happy,
Yeah.
in that moment,
Yeah.
Yeah. But that honestly, I feel like that leads us, kind of what you're saying leads us to the topic that we want to talk about this week,
Which is
protecting your peace versus pushing people away.
right.
Because I'll kick this part off. I'm notorious for pushing people away to protect my peace. And that's honestly, it was a mechanism that I've always used to never commit to any relationship, like whether it be a friendship or like a intimate relationship. Because if I always kept somebody at a distance, they couldn't hurt me. And that protected my peace. But in what I did was a lot of times I would push good people away because I wouldn't even give them a chance to really get in my vicinity but it was fear, you know. And when you get burned so many times, like honestly, right now, as a grown man, I really can't say I have really good discernment because I'm still fearful of the person's intentions on if they're really genuinely here because they care for me and my well being or what I could do for them.
Right. Yeah, and I can see that. I think for me, I'm not as protective as I should be of my peace. And that's what leads to a lot of what I was explaining what happened the other day. I'm too loose with my peace. And I know I got to get more strong minded. That's where it starts in the mind, which leads to the action. Because I've given too much gray area.
Okay.
And there should be no gray area when it comes to peace. It should be black and white.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I feel like because if we speak it in the home,
yeah,
it's I would say gray area is compromise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I could say this is my peace and it has to be this is non-negotiable. This is my peace. My peace is not negotiable, but it has to be in a manner of ways that works for the family. So it's like I could say, I don't have any examples honestly, but I could say that you know it's very important that you know you feel respected. You know,
First and foremost
is respect. You know, that's something that's not negotiable. But like when it comes to like other things that you may feel are valuable, it has to be a hierarchy. And it's like, let's say if there's something that's like, you know, fourth on the tier, and I'm gonna say you and your partner can't really like y'all kind of at odds about that.
Right.
That's a conversation, you know.
But see, for me, I don't even have a tier. As much as just a simple thing, it may be like two things that I'm firm about. The rest of it is kind of like whatever, because it don't have to be just my way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, a couple of things that like I said, respect, that's a non-negotiable.
Right.
When that gets rocked, then you feel like, why are we even having this conversation?
Respect and loyalty, those are my two.
There you go. And I'm the same way.
Yeah.
That's my two as well. Anything other than that, to me, does not affect my peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because respect and loyalty covers a lot of bases.
Yeah, it does.
And those that are underneath your umbrella understand what bases those are.
Right.
You know, because obviously you want to be with somebody or be around people that pretty much have the same type of morals and values when it comes to that on a certain level.
Yeah, and you know what? We can speak about that with just, you know, certain friends and stuff like that we grew up with.
Right.
Or, you know, came around. And the thing is that if you hang around people that don't want nothing out of life, no matter how good you're doing, you're not going to do too much better because you're comparing yourself to them.
Correct.
It's like, I've talked to young people like this because I've had a guy, and you know the dude. You know, he was talking. He was like, yeah, you know, he was making, and this is no shade to anybody's income, but he was bragging about making, let's say, $10 an hour. This was about 10 years ago. And he was pushing 30. You know, and he was like, you know, and he was comparing himself to a group of guys that we knew, but these were all guys that like literally were jumping house to house and didn't want much out of life. And I asked him, I said, well, who are you comparing how well you're doing to? You know, are you comparing to people that are, you know, you feel are your equals, or people that, you know, are doing less than you? Because that's who, you know, like as long as I'm doing better than bro, I'm good.
Right.
And he kind of looked at me like I was like trying to shit on him. I'm like, no, I really want to know what your thought process was.
Right.
Grand scheme of things, he was comparing himself to the lower level tier people to make himself feel good.
Right.
And that's where I started really thinking about how, you know, your circle really defines who you're going to be.
Right.
It shapes the man you are. So if your circle is strong, guess what? You're going to be strong. I never want to be the strongest man in my crew. You know, I want to be able to find people I can grow from and learn from.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of people that they like being the big homie because that means that there's no one to hold them accountable.
Right.
You know, so no, I think you know, when it comes down to whether it be protecting your peace and pushing people away, it really starts with your circle of friends. It starts with your, you know, your chosen family, and you know the people in your immediate family that you choose to have relationships with.
And yeah, because that could even be just pure associates.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about people that just work with, something like that. You can't control that. But when you're talking about people that you interact with, that you even trying to figure out, you know what, this person ain't worth me even communicate on a different level.
Yeah.
Those are the associates that we say, okay, you know what, that's a buddy. That's okay, you know, that's a friend. And you know what I mean? But a lot of times, especially nowadays, 2026, man, people just don't have the same principles that we were taught when we were younger. It goes out the window because, and I always say this, here's one of my pet peeves. People that are around our age, they sit back and they used to be like this when it came to morals and values conversation. Now they become millennialized. I say it all the time. What does that mean? What that means is they threw all that stuff out the window and decided to go about things the way that people do it nowadays for this new generation. Some, not all. And the principles that we were raised with, that we demonstrate in our own households, people are kind of letting that go by the wayside because they prefer the easier route, which is to cater to others and not stand on something. Because when you talk to a lot of people, you talk to a lot of youth, they're missing morals and values and principles. Not their fault. They just wasn't taught it. So we're having these conversations trying to help put them on some game. But when you got people our age that do that out the window as well, that want to bring themselves to a level to be equals to them.
We competing with them. That's what.
Yes. Yes.
We are grown men, and then there's women. I always tell people, what's all going on in our city, excuse me, it's our fault.
Right.
We not the ones out there doing it, but we raised them little things.
Right.
And we raising people, you hit it right in the head with the morals and values. There's no big mamas in the family anymore.
None.
There's no, pop-pops.
No.
Everyone, like nowadays, even with the grandmas, they want to be called the landmine and all this stuff because everyone wants to remain young.
Right.
They say, 40 is the new 30 and all that stuff. No, I'm 47. 47 is 47.
Right.
Do I feel old? No. Do I feel better in my 40s than I did in my 30s? Absolutely. But I'm not trying to compete with my sons and their friends to still be cool and hip. I'm always going to be dad first.
There you go.
I want to be able to relate to my kids, but I want to always raise my kids as they're going into adulthood.
Maintain that level of respect. That's another non-negotiable.
Yes.
No gray area when it comes to that, but there's a lot of people nowadays where that is allowed in their household and their families.
Oh, yeah.
So you talk about keeping the peace versus pushing people away. A lot of these new generation want to be people from our generation that acting like the new generation. Mm-hmm. They've allowed those two to intertwine. So we talking about separating the two. We looked at it like aliens. Like, what you mean? Why can't you? Like, no, man, I'm not smoking with my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it.
That's a whole different topic, but I agree with you 100%. Like, I think that if we get back to like protecting your peace, and we can keep it on the kids, it's like having adult children. Like, we both have all adult children. I have one child out of my blended family that's under the age of 18. Mm-hmm. He's 14 years old, and but other than that, they're all 20 and older. But I'm still going to always make sure that, I'm not going to let my kids disrupt my peace at this point.
Right.
I raised them. I'm going to give them the game. I'm going to help them when needed, but they also have to want to help themselves.
Right.
Because too often, our peace is disrupted by still trying to raise grown kids.
Right.
And no matter what you do, they still, as soon as you don't do what they want, you're going to be a deadbeat. Or they.
What does peace look like for you?
It's a good question, man. I never knew I could have peace. Peace looks like for me,
like what
healthy
on a regular day, not as a totality, but on a regular day. You just got done working. When you walk in the house, what would peace look like for you?
Honestly, I'm simple. My puppy just come greet me. My wife come give me a kiss, and we got dinner planned. Whether she cooks, I cook. And we watch TV.
Right.
It's a piece that's very simple to me. I'm a routine type person. I like to know what I'm going to eat for dinner. I like to know what I'm coming home to. It's about the vibe of the atmosphere. Like I don't expect to be waving on hand and foot. I like to cook. Like I genuinely enjoy cooking. Mm-hmm. So there's times when it's like we do Wing Tuesday every week, and I cook wings. I'm going to cook the wings. My wife was, no, I got you. You know, there's certain things that I enjoy doing, but it's like I also enjoy knowing that when I come home, my partner is going to be there ready to be a partner with me. You know,
Right.
um, that wasn't always the case. You know, so I've had seasons in the past where I knew I was going to come home and it was going to be a battle. I knew that I was going to fight the world all day. You know, then I knew I was going to come home and fight the person that was there at that time.
Mhm.
I knew. So there was never. So I'm still unregulated at times because deep down it's embedded in me to be prepared for the worst.
Right.
It's embedded in me to be prepared to go to war if need be.
Mhm.
Because like I got this thing I do, like, you know, if something's said to me I don't like, my face turned up instantly, I don't even know. But that's really me not trying to say who the F you talking to or saying something detrimental.
Right.
But it's because it's been so many years of having to fight those battles. It's hard to get out that mindset because I got a habit of reading into things negative.
Right.
And that's something that I have to work on. You know, and that's the thing that we got to do a lot of. I mean, we two regular guys chopping it up, but a lot of times we can say all day we are underappreciated, we overworked, and everything else. But what we got to do better of is admitting where we need help at and doing the work to make sure that we get better and we find our peace, find our happiness. Because ain't nobody gonna give it to us. We got to do that work. And if we got a partner at home, we've had this conversation. You got to tell your partner what you need, and not out of anger. And it's hard to do that, and I'm guilty of it. But it's like before you get to that point of being mad about something, talk to them. Like, hey, sit her down. Hey, babe, you know this is how I'm feeling. Because if we don't do that, they don't know what they don't know. Just like we don't know what we don't know. You know, so very good question about asking what peace looks like. Because truthfully, I never thought that I would have peace or could have peace with another person. Like to me, peace was me and my puppies going to the gym. You know, it was never about home. Home was never a peaceful place for me. You know,
So a certain thing in your life that brought you peace, but not necessarily the home.
yes,
Right.
100%.
Okay.
And for a lot of years, I would go find peace outside of the home, but it was really not peace. It was me filling an empty void that I didn't want to admit was there.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, I get that. You know, I think for me, I'm a simple man as well. Peace for me is to be able to just relax, but to come home and know that the battles are behind me until tomorrow.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of battles we fight once we step out that door.
Yeah.
Now, it's never going to be perfect in the house. That's just the way life is. There's going to be things that have bills. This got to be done.
Mhm.
Okay, whatever. That's life. That's not unpeaceful for me. That's just life. Um, I don't like arguing. I really don't. It does something to me. And then us as men, you feel like you don't respond. You feel less than. You know what I'm saying?
You don't respond.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm really to the point where I just be like, you know what? And that's for anybody. I ain't even talking about, I'm just talking about period, man. I just don't, I've never been a fan of confrontation.
You've never been real confrontational.
You know what I'm saying? I just never have been that way. My mother always tell me, Adrian, you're old school. I raised you that way. She always tell me,
Mhm.
I love, you know, my sports is that's my safe haven, man,
Mhm.
because I love watching competition, no matter what sport it is. That keeps my mind going. That makes me happy. I enjoy when my wife go to bus games during the season. That's our time to just get out there and just, you know, we always go get something to eat before the game, go to the game, go home. Like, that's our time. I enjoy it. That's peaceful for me. I'm a big hookah guy. I come home, you know, get my hookah going, watch TV.
I thought you said hooping.
No,
Well, you picked the basketball up.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time. No big hookah guy, man. That's really become more of a passion for me as well because there's a lot involved and people don't understand. But anything other than that, man, it's chaos. If it's not those things, it's chaotic. You know, I just want to come home, man, and just be like, man, I'm glad that's over with. Now let me start the second part of my day.
Right.
Because here's the truth of the matter, man. I gotta get up every day about 4:15 for work. And I may not doze off tonight in the morning.
Really?
Yeah. There's always stuff in my mind.
I sleep about 3 hours a night too.
There's always stuff in my mind and I can't get past it because of the pressures of, you know, my anxiety really gets
That's
going.
same.
Okay, what am I going to experience tomorrow?
Same.
Okay, what I do today, even when I'm working, okay, when I get home, what's it gonna be? When I'm at home, okay, tomorrow when I get to work, what's it gonna be? Like, it's nonstop going and going and going. And no, I don't express it because I feel like no one would understand. Not to say that's the truth, that's just how I feel. That's just me being me. It's not like no one made me feel that way. That's just how I feel. And that would make me feel like I'm on an island by myself. So with me sitting back with my puppies, watching TV, that's my escape. And now I got this. This is even more of a help of an escape because I feel like this is productive. The thing I'm doing at home is kind of putting the band-aid on a situation because situation could be a situation, I'm just in a safe haven. But this here, talking about it, getting it out, feedback, I look forward to this more than anything at this point, and that's straight up. So this has become a major part of my life on the peaceful side. Because when I was going through what I went through Thursday, I just kept saying, man, I can't wait till Sunday. And I hit you a couple times, hey man, the time we gonna connect. And I didn't want to tell you what was going on. I wanted to just say it for the cash.
Okay, that's
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, bro, you could have called me.
Yeah, no, if we wasn't doing the cast, I would have hit you.
Okay.
We would have had long conversations, but I really wanted to say it for the cast. So you're the one person I didn't hit. I knew it would, you know, it would be very therapeutic doing it this way.
Okay, that's fair.
You know, I'm supposed to repeat myself on the show and not really give too many specifics because we already talked about it. You know, so I'm to go back to the original thing about pushing people away versus keeping your peace. Once I get past that gray area of not the non-negotiables, then I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
And that helps me as far as making money. When I say making, I mean working, peace, just the way I perceive a lot of things, the way I take things in, all that goes along with trying to come out that gray area of peace. Because listen, as a married man, I can care less about certain things. And I talk about this with some of my buddies all the time. Man, I don't care. You want to get green curtain, get green curtain. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Some things just don't matter to me to even try to even make an argument, or you want this color further, whatever. Yeah. You know, because one thing I know, like my wife, she's not materialistic. You know, she does take my thought into consideration. She may ask me, hey, what you feel about this? I appreciate it. I say, hey, whatever you want to do. So I appreciate the notion. Right. She even asked. But certain things, it's not worth the battle. And I also understand as well that you got to let people also be themselves. Oh, yeah. So for me to sit back and try to control everything, that's not okay. I wouldn't want that done to me. Right. But just those couple of things, man, it's like, you know, and that comes with also relationship with your friends too. Yeah. You know, like I was expressing to you before we jumped on, you know, mutual friend of ours, man, had a conversation this week, man, and it went real well. You know, just checking in, see how things are going, man. It's good to hear the people that you interact with for a long time, you know, are doing well. And then even so, when you're talking to them, and they sit back and they mention names like me and you, how we've been influential to them getting where they are. Right. You know what I mean? Another friend of ours, you know what I mean, that you mentioned, you know, came up and helped you do some work, man, has expressed me many times our influence to them growing up, being who they are today as a man, father, grandfather, so forth and so on. So we must have did something right. So I can't go away from my moral and value, bring it back to that point, because I've seen too much success
Right.
off of the way we've carried ourselves and operated. And if people can't get with it, man, I just don't know what to say. That's why I explain to y'all, be truly who you are.
Oh, that's very important. Because they only made one you.
Yeah.
And I think too often we fall into that trap of following the trends and trying to be, trying to be trendy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on something.
Yeah.
We talked about peace.
Yeah.
We talked about protecting your peace an awful lot, and respect and loyalty and morals.
Right.
And even we went into some millennial generation things.
Right.
What are your thoughts on pushing people away?
I'm with it. Because I've learned this as I've gotten older. There are some people I kept around too long.
Yeah.
And I can sit back now and think about it. Once again, we've had that conversation. You feel a sense of compassion about those that maybe you kept around too long. But then when you sit back and reflect, you say, you know what, that really stunted my growth.
Yeah.
I might have stunted theirs too, because I should have just let them go on and be them.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me feeling sorry for them, because I still got to live my life. I still got things I got to take care of.
Right.
And those that are worthy of being kept around and feel like we're worthy of being kept around in their life, at this point in our lives, that's a win-win. We don't have time for center blocks on the ankles.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for it. Time is already limited as it is. We're just lucky to see the next day.
Very.
Let alone allow someone to bring us down and not build us up. And when we talk about build up, be there, not pulling you down. Oh man, you ain't this and you ain't that. And no, that's not what it's about. Man, whatever you need, I got you. You winning, I feel like I'm winning. You losing, I'm feeling bad too, man. Let's see how we can get this right. That's what it's all about. And I think that's what's missing. And people keep on allowing that stuff to happen. And then next thing you know, you see somebody say, this is why they never grew. Had that conversation the other day with a friend of ours we was talking about before. Some people ain't grown past when they was 16, 17. Now they in their 40s, and they wonder why they're stuck at this point. Because honestly, they should have been cut loose a long time ago, and maybe they would have been forced to grow up.
Yeah, and see, my theory on the pushing people away thing is that's kind of how I've always lived my life.
Mhm.
Like I haven't always let the right people in, and
Right.
I've kept the wrong people around far too long.
Right.
Because I had this really weird way of thinking where no matter how screwed up somebody is, as long as you're that person, I'm cool with it because I know that I'm seeing the real you. And true, in some ways, I'm still like that.
Right.
But it's like, because honestly, we are all we are an eclectic group of people. We all got common. We got similarities.
Yeah.
But then we also have vast differences. But we mesh well. So I never wanted to say, okay, you know what, this guy drinks great Kool-Aid. I hate great Kool-Aid. I'm not gonna hang with him. This man know how much I hate great Kool-Aid.
That's right.
But it's like if you are being your authentic self,
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. But what I had to learn as I was growing is you still have to bring value to my life.
Right.
It's not money, it's not anything of those sorts. I don't care what somebody got, but if I can't build with you, I don't have a reason to have you in my life anymore.
And I got to bring value to your life.
Exactly. It's two-way street. But I feel like, honestly, I've brought more value to people's lives than I've gotten in return. But I've kept these people around because, you know what, they consistent, but I've pushed good people away out of fear of letting them, like I said earlier, out of fear of letting them be close to me. Because the people I've let be close to me have hurt me. And that's something that a lot of men won't say when we run around with a bunch of women and we don't want to commit and things and such like that. You do it out of fear.
Yeah.
Because you've been with somebody that you truly, genuinely loved and gave your all to, and that person let you down.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like when and I can honestly say that I haven't been in that position because up until recently, I never gave my all to anybody because I never really felt like somebody was worthy of getting my all. So even the people that I would, like I said, whether it be friends, relatives, relationships, I would never give them the full version of me because I was always in protection mode. Some people I pushed away because they knew I wasn't really all in.
Mhm.
And some people, if they were being too nice, I wanted to know what your motive was.
Yeah.
And I think that's the Milwaukee in me too.
Yeah.
You know, growing up on the north side of Milwaukee, we are very skeptical people
100%.
because everybody's out for a hustle.
Right.
So I do believe, you know, the topic at hand, they work against each other, but they also go together, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am going to protect my peace. If I have to push you away to protect my peace, I'm going to do that 100% of the time. Because if my peace doesn't matter to you, that means we're not totally aligned, you know, and your peace matters to me. So if I can say, okay, you know what can I do to make your life better? You know, okay, let's talk. You know,
Man, listen, this is the bottom line to me. For me, the only peace I need right now, 2026, the only peace I need is my wife, my dogs, my granddaughter who we're raising. That's inside my house.
mm-hmm.
There's no knock on nobody else. There's not, but that's the only peace I need. And I'm just speaking in it. I'm not saying I don't get it. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's all I need right now. Anything else that would rock the boat is not needed.
Okay.
I don't have to deal with nobody else.
So I'm gonna challenge you though. So let's say your wife gone, grandbaby with your wife, puppy sleep. What's peace for AD? What does AD do to get his peace?
Oh, I'm sitting there watching the game or watching TV with my hookah man, and that's it. That's it. Because I've never been one. You know me.
Yeah.
Man, I've never been one to run the streets. I've never been one to hang out in clubs or nothing like that. You know, I got a select group of friends. Everybody got their own thing going on.
Right.
So I ain't got nowhere to go. I ain't got nothing to do. I've never been in them circles. So that's peaceful for me.
Okay.
You know, that's peaceful for me. So that's, you know, having the people I love around me that love me back, man, that's golden.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You know, but let's circle back to the beginning. We're gonna bring it home with the beginning topic because I feel like that's something that we can literally talk an hour about, if not more. We got a whole series about just the heaviness and the pressures of the day and how do we handle that. I think going back to what we talked about before, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about this. We have to be okay with saying we're not okay.
Right.
We don't have to know. And I think that's the problem sometimes. We trying to figure out, like, what's going on, but why do I feel this way? And I do it often.
Right.
You know, so when you're trying to figure it out on your own, you internalize. When you internalize, we think we're being cool about it. We think nobody knows, but people that love you and know you, like you said, your man, when you was on the phone, but he saw your energy was all over the phone. So imagine your coworker, imagine your wife, imagine your granddaughter. People know when we off. So I think so often our pride keeps us in that keeps us on that island that we have to put a bridge on there to let your peace come into your day.
Right.
Allow them to love on you.
Right.
I'm really, really poor about letting people love on me. I get anxiety at night because I think about the next day. And it's gotten so bad where it'll be a shooting pain up my neck. Me and my wife was watching Nemesis last night. We binge watched 6 episodes. I don't know if you watched it on Netflix yet.
No, but I heard about it.
Oh, it's good. Nemesis is good. It's like it's power. It's power in a nutshell. But it was like probably 1 a.m. She was like, "Do we just put rub your neck down?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's late." My neck was killing me. I put a lighter can patch on my neck, and I needed that neck rub, but even though I would have had no issue getting up and doing it for her, she literally asked me, and I'm still like, "No, I'm cool." You know, so I say all that to say it's hard for men of our stature to allow people to love on us because we so used to being the protectors and the providers. But then when we don't get that love, you kind of feel like on those heavy days, like, man, I wish I had somebody to do for me what I do for other people. You know, but when people have offered, you've turned them down, you being me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so we got to get out of our own way and allow those people that love us to love on us.
I'm the opposite. I've always been one to want someone to love on me.
Okay.
Being raised by a woman, I've always been taught to be a nurturer. Just some of the things I've learned about life from my mother, from a womb standpoint. I've never been this tough, hardcore, like, hey, back up. Like, no, I've always been welcoming of affection. I'm an affectionate individual, and I like to receive affection in return. And when I don't get that, I feel a type of way. So I'm one who would have been like, yeah, please go ahead. So that's why I felt the way I felt on Thursday, because as an affectionate individual, but no one's paying attention to even see that something wrong with me. I feel the type of way, and I feel even more down the dump because I'm an affectionate guy.
Okay.
If I was, Billy Hardass, yeah, I mean, I'd probably be like, whatever, ain't none of their business. But, and what's the first thing I said? When somebody asked me how you do, I said, I really want to pull over and cry.
Yeah.
Because I'm just an affectionate, emotional guy. And I ain't afraid to admit, give a damn what anybody say.
Have you tried that though?
I've done it before. Not there's been situations where I've done that. Yeah.
How did you feel afterwards?
I felt fine.
That's one.
But I get pissed off because I got to do that though. But I understand that that's what it takes, because a lot of times what pisses me off to the point of that, it's right there in front of me. Then I go in there and do that, come back out, I'm still dealing with the same shit.
That's true. I mean, I think our reasons are a little different, because it's like mine is sometimes when it happens to me is a grief. I think about my dad and things and such like that, or just things that I've had to experience over the last few years, and it's just I get so frustrated and angry. But it's nothing that I'm dealing with present day.
Right.
So it's things that's got me to a point where it's like, man, I'm a really blessed dude right now, but I still get stuck in my journey to become the man that I'm becoming. That I still get stuck in the past, and
Right.
So sometimes I do have to pull over and just let one out. But yours is a little different because it's like yours is more present day frustrations, and mine is previous.
Right.
But talking to the crowd, talking to the chat, it is either way. You gotta let it out. Your emotions gonna come out somehow. They're gonna come out via anger, tears, frustration, lashing out at the wrong people. Sometimes take a beat, talk to those that you love and love you, and let them know what you're experiencing. That's honestly the best thing I can tell you. And honestly, it's hard, but it's easier said than done. Because as I'm telling y'all this, I'm pretty sure this week I'm not going to say something that's on my mind, because it's just like, forget it, I'm cool.
It's a process though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. No matter how young or old you are, we are working together to become better, like as a collective. So I want y'all to really tune into us. We just dropped the episode. We dropped episode 1 on YouTube and Spotify. The YouTube channel is Man Enough to Heal. Spotify is The Method. Just search us up. We got another episode dropping Tuesday night. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all tune in, tap in, check us out on TikTok, and then engage in the content. Let us know what y'all want to hear. Let us know what you guys are experiencing, because that's the only way that this is going to work. Because we just two people, talking about our experiences, but we really want to know what's going on out there and how can we help you guys, because y'all can help us just like we can help you.
Correct. And that's the main thing. When it's all said and done, and I say this every week, this is a forum for all of us. It's not just about us. I've had great interaction this week with people I've shown the episodes to that have given a lot of great feedback. And we would like for, if you guys ever want to come on the show and have a conversation, we'd be happy to have you on. And even, and I was just thinking this the other day, even if God knows there's some people I've talked to that just not ready to get in front of the camera yet. So what I'm gonna start doing, I'm about to spend desk cards. And I'm gonna start taking their statements and asking, can I read it over the air?
Yeah.
About how they felt about X, Y, and Z. So shout out to Al, thank you for the feedback. Shout out to Dave, thanks for the feedback. Cousin Shalonda, Mom, she really gave me some really great you know, which I guess even tell you how that went, but some great feedback, you know, and a couple other people, man, you know, my wife, you know, great feedback. So just keep doing what you're doing and just supporting us. We're going to support you, and we look forward to the next time. And if you have anything specific that you would like for us to talk about in regards to men's mental health, please let us know. All right. And you guys have a great week and keep it positive.
That's the method.
Yes, sir.